Hello, my fellow gardeners. This is Gardening with Mel, and it's time to get back into gardening. Now that the weather is warming up, it's time to start our gardening where we can start things from seedlings and get back things into the ground because we've gone through our winter months and different things like that. So this is just a brief video on starting some seedlings of different types of flowers or vegetables or whatever it is that you're interested in putting into your garden for the next season. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Here I had started some spinach, and I just basically put it in a pot and I put it out here, and this was started on, looks like I started that on the 14th of January, if you can kind of see there. And this is how it's gone so far. The spinach is pretty much coming up on its own. Okay, and I also have some lettuce that's here, that's growing. And I started that actually a few seasons ago, and they actually reseeded themselves. I kind of had let the lettuce go to flower, and the flowers, I guess, just fell off right in its place, and they restarted again. Then behind there, I have some kale that's growing. And we're gonna go behind there. I started another kale plant in a pot, and then it got larger, so I just went ahead and put it into the ground, and it's doing well. And the things about your kale and your spinaches, they actually do well in the fall season. So this is what I have for my collard greens behind there. Okay, so I have this set of collard greens, and we're going to jump over here, and I have more collard greens growing here on this side, and these are ready, of course, to be picked. And here in zone 9A, collard greens are pretty much they grow all year round, so I can harvest some of these leaves, and if I leave some more leaves on the stem, more leaves will grow and we'll continue to have our collard greens. I also have some green onions that I started a couple years, like actually 3 seasons ago, and they've gotten larger. And as you can see here, looks like it's starting to flower, which means that's going to go to seed. And if you want to slow that down so you can continue to have green onion, you just clip off that little flower and the plant will continue to grow. So you'll have forever green onions, and pretty much here in zone 9A, nothing has killed them. So if you want to plant you some green onions, and matter of fact, those green onions actually were store-bought green onions. I started, I clipped off the part of the green onion that I wanted, and then I put the white part of the stem where it looks like the roots are at the bottom, and I stuck it in a jar of water, and it started to grow some roots. So then I came out here in the garden and I just threw it in the ground, and that's the result of them. And that's going on the 3rd season. So basically almost 3 years we have our green onions. Okay, so that's what I have pretty much so far. And what I'm going to do today is start some new seedlings of some different flowers and vegetable plants that we have that I want to start planting. Actually, this part of the garden, I have asparagus. The whole back part of that is asparagus, and it's not time for them to come up yet. But on this side of the garden, or the front part, I'm planning on putting romaine lettuce here on this section. Okay, so I have some seedlings already started for lettuce to place there once they mature. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, what I have here is a container that I got from the store. I think it had some croissants in here, so I looked at it and I decided I wanted to use this to start some seedlings in. So what I did is I just put some holes in the bottom with a soldering iron, so that way we can allow for the water to drain out. And I'm just going to fill this with some garden soil, and I'm going to plant some seeds inside, and then use the top as like a little greenhouse. Close it down to kind of keep it moist and warm in there for the seeds to sprout. Okay, so we're just going to show you that. Okay, I have put the gardening soil in the container that I have. As you can see, I put some holes in there, just use my finger. And I also got another little seedling tray over here that I have, and I put a couple holes in there just so we can start putting the seeds in there, just to give you an idea how simple this is. It's nothing hard. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start putting the seeds in the holes. Okay, as you can see, I put the seeds down in the holes. And put a little squash seed right there in the corner. I just wanted to experiment with that, see how quickly that germinates. But these are just some regular red and yellow bell pepper seeds that I had. And I'm just going to cover them up now that they're in the holes. Now, everything is covered. Take any chunks out of there, bark. Okay. And we're just going to water this in really good. Once we water it in really good, water it just enough for the water to come out of the holes at the bottom. Once you see the water coming out, then that means the soil is fully saturated. And then we're gonna go ahead and place the lid on. That's about enough. I'm gonna take the top and just close it up like so, and place it in a sunny spot, either in a greenhouse, or if you live in a warm climate, you know, I kind of can set it out somewhere there in the garden. Or if you're indoors, you can put this indoor under a grow light, whichever is your choice. And that's how you start, you know, a simple seedling, and repurposing some containers that you can get, you know, reuse from the store. Okay, so that's how simple it is to get started. We'll keep you up to date on how they start to grow. So there you have it, my fellow gardeners. Just getting started in our new spring gardening. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on the follow-ups of how we're starting our spring garden. And thank you for joining. This is Gardening with Mel. And yes, another great tip from Gardening with Mel. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss another video from Gardening with Mel. Thanks for joining.